If you're prepping for the IELTS reading test, you've probably heard the same advice over and over. Just learn more words. More vocabulary. But what if that's not the full story? What if there's a smarter, more scientific way to get the score you want? Okay, let's get into it. So maybe you've taken a practice test and gotten feedback that looks, well, a lot like this. You get comments about mixing up true, false, not given, messing up sentence completions, or totally bombing the matching heading section. It's frustrating, right? Because it tells you what you did wrong, but not really how to fix it. We're all conditioned to think that a bigger vocabulary is the magic bullet. But what if that's only half the battle? What if the real secret isn't about the quantity of words you know, but the quality of how well you know them? So let's just start by stating the obvious. This test is tough, and that's okay. It's supposed to be a challenge, but it isn't just randomly difficult. The way it's hard is actually very specific, and figuring that out is the very first step. Examiners see the same mistakes pop up again and again. Things like, you know the answer for a sentence completion, but you write a summary instead of the exact words from the text. Or getting tripped up by one tiny little word, like almost, which completely flips the meaning of a sentence. And of course, that classic headache, telling the difference between false and not given. These aren't just random slip-ups. They're clues pointing to a much deeper issue. So what is that deeper issue? Well, it all circles back to vocabulary, just maybe not in the way you've been thinking about it. Let's start putting the pieces of this puzzle together. And this is where we can get some real answers from science. A 2020 study by researchers Chen and Liu dug right into the connection between vocabulary and how well people did on the IELTS reading test. They wanted to know what really makes a difference in your final score. And here is the absolute core of what they found. Success is not just about having a giant list of words memorized. It's about the richness, the depth of your knowledge of those words. And they broke this down into two key ideas. So let's break down these two critical concepts, vocabulary breadth and vocabulary depth. I promise, understanding this difference is going to totally change how you study from now on. First up, we've got breadth. This is the one we all know. It's simple. It's the total number of words you can recognize. Think of it as the size of your vocabulary, the raw number. But then you've got depth, and this is where the real magic happens. This is a much deeper understanding. It means knowing a word's different shades of meaning, the other words it likes to hang out with, we call those collocations, and knowing how to actually use it in the right context. Let me give you an analogy. Vocabulary breadth is like owning a massive toolbox that's just overflowing with thousands and thousands of tools. Looks impressive, right? But vocabulary depth, that's the skill of a master builder who knows for any specific job exactly which screwdriver to use, which wrench is the perfect fit, and how to use it perfectly. Having the tools is one thing. Knowing how to use them is the whole game. Okay, so cool theory, but how does this actually help you on test day? Let's connect these ideas of breadth and depth directly to the kinds of questions you're actually going to face. That big toolbox of yours, your vocabulary breadth, is most powerful when you're dealing with certain kinds of questions. The research showed that breadth is really important for questions like true, false, not given. And it makes sense, right? A lot of times these questions are basically a matching game. You're scanning the passage for a specific keyword or its most obvious synonym. You're just trying to find information that's stated directly. But for those trickier questions, the ones that really separate a good score from a great one, you're going to need more than just a big word list. You're going to need depth. And hey, look at these question types. Matching headings, multiple choice, they're the exact same ones that trip so many people up. To nail a matching headings question, you have to understand the main idea of a whole paragraph, not just one word. For multiple choice, you often have to infer what the author is thinking. It's all about reading between the lines, and that is 100% a game of depth. Now, this is where the research gets really practical. The study didn't just say breadth and depth were important. It actually found a specific point, a turning point in a language learner's journey. And that turning point is the number 6,000. So what's so special about 6,000? What does it actually mean for how you should be spending your time? The study found what they called a threshold at about 6,000 word families. Now, a word family is just the main word and its common variations like connect, connection, and connecting. Up until you hit that 6,000 mark, simply increasing the breadth of your vocabulary gives you a huge boost. But after that point, something really important changes. Take a look at this chart from the study. On the bottom, you have vocabulary size, and on the side, the IELTS score. See how the line shoots up pretty steeply at the beginning, but then it starts to flatten out. That flat part is right around the 6,000 word threshold. Beyond that, just piling on more words gives you less and less benefit. That's the exact moment when depth becomes the thing that's going to push your score higher. So what does all this mean for you? It means we can finally stop the madness of just trying to memorize endless lists of words. We can replace it with a much smarter, two-phase strategy that's actually backed by science. Here it is, your new game plan. It's simple. First, you need to know where you are. If your vocabulary is under that 6,000 word family mark, you are in phase 1. Your main goal is quantity. Focus on building your vocabulary breadth. But as soon as you hit that threshold, it's time to pivot to phase 2. You need to shift your focus from quantity to quality. This means going deep. Don't just learn a word's definition. Learn what other words it likes to be paired with. Write your own sentences using it. This is how you build the kind of mastery that top scores are made of. So as you keep studying for the IELTS, just ask yourself this one simple question. Based on where you are right now, are you focusing your energy on the right thing? Are you still just collecting more tools for the toolbox? Or have you started to become a master of your craft?